McLaren coming back into the story? Mega! But they're definitely going in the right direction, and it has made a difference, which is what Alonso wanted. Is it enough to keep him in the team next year?
We've had a different podium result every single race, including this one now.
Norris basically dominated the race. He controlled it from the front. Welcome back to the Motorsport Files. This is the Hungarian GP review, and what a race. Who saw McLaren coming back into the story? Mega!
Not me.
No, I didn't either. Completely didn't see that coming last time round. In fact, quite the opposite. I actually said that I didn't think they were anywhere close yet.
You did indeed.
Cheers, guys. Cheers, guys. I mean, fair play.
Yeah, I mean, Lando had a phenomenal race, really did control it, but I'm not actually that surprised because if you look at the stats, McLaren have the most wins at the Hungaroring of any team. And on the flip side, Oscar's first DNF this season, and I was looking at it going, hang on a minute, but did not start. Nah, that's the main difference.
Yeah.
What are your takes going forwards?
Well, I actually think both cars did pretty well, and Oscar did too. I didn't think his quali performance was quite up to scratch, but Oscar definitely deserved a decent result in the race, in the main race. And it was obviously external factors that meant he didn't. Yes, you're right. Norris basically dominated the race. He controlled it from the front. He didn't, obviously, we don't see cars disappearing off into the distance anymore like we have done in the past, but he was totally in control of that race from start to finish. And yes, when he was chasing Oscar and basically saying, get me in, I'm faster than him. We've heard that how many times before?
Yeah, every time.
I mean, all drivers do that. It's like, give me a chance. But he did. He did have the pace, and he was consistent. But then he likes Hungary. He does like the Hungaroring, and he's had quite a lot of success there over the past. In fact, that was where he had his first victory.
Oh,
and his first test actually for McLaren way back when. So yeah, it's a particular favourite of his. So I'm not entirely surprised. I mean, the team have said that they kind of outperformed the car.
Yeah.
I don't know what you think about that.
I think the car's obviously come on leaps and bounds. Obviously, they've been on the back foot now that they're world champions as a team. However, what I do find strange is the papaya rules. I think they're still bleeding into the team, and it is really starting to fracture things, especially on Oscar's side of the garage. So obviously, Lando did have a great start to the race, did his typical, turn one, lose the race, and then he was just chasing him down after that. But Piastri was the number one car this weekend, so he had the advantage to choose pits, strategy, things like that. And what I found very strange was it's been found on the radio that Norris basically said, I really want to pit next lap, and they sort of took it to then go, okay, well, we'll pit Oscar now. And that literally dumped him right in traffic, which also led to him having the collision with Sainz, which really did affect his race. And that's because Lando just got out ahead of Oscar. And apparently, so Oscar said in a post-race interview, he thought in the moment, he hoped that the team would not pit Lando to give him the chance to keep the lead. That is ridiculous. This is coming back to when, what happened? Was it like Lando pitted or something like that? I can't remember. It was like last year. And it basically, it would have changed the season. I think these papaya rules are really, really nice in principle, but they're just damaging the team. Like at the end of the day, you're both racing. You have to let these rules lie as long as it doesn't get to sort of like, like Hamilton Rosberg level of like issues for the team. But I just think they need to stop at this point because Oscar's really, really damned. I mean, he's like Russell on the McLaren side. Like he's really lost himself, I feel. And I actually wonder if he's going to be in the team for the next 2 or 3 years. What would you say on that?
It's interesting to hear you say that because I actually thought the papaya rules had been very much relaxed for this year. I thought they were trying to avoid the same sorts of situations they had last year. I mean, they've obviously not had huge amounts of time or opportunity, should I say, to actually implement papaya rules. This is the first race of the season where it's actually been relevant. But initially the team told Lando that he couldn't pit, that they couldn't do anything about it yet, because if they had done, he'd have dropped back into traffic, race over. Fair enough. And they were right to say that. Given that Oscar was in the lead, he should have gone first anyway, and he was in the pit window, to be fair. So I think that was just racing. I thought that was just the natural course of the race as it unfolded at the time. I personally don't feel like that was papaya rules. I think that was just normal racing, if I'm honest. And it was just unlucky and unfortunate that what happened after happened. That is a point that I want to come on to, actually, the blue flag chaos. Just before that, I mean, these upgrades that McLaren have brought have made one hell of a difference. All of last year, they were concentrating on the 2025 car to clinch the championships, which they obviously did. Yeah. It's only taken them 10 races. Don't forget we had a break as well in spring. We had spring break as well to catch up those extra 3 months that they were behind, that they said they were behind, in order to bring themselves up. Because I was wondering, is this race a flash in the pan, or is this our third main team fighting for victories now?
I think it's going to be really interesting after the summer break, because a little stat that I didn't realise from last week, we've had a different podium results every single race, including this one now. A lot of the midfield have really started to bunch up, and I believe you have got now top 4 teams. I think over the summer break, I think Mercedes will probably really hunker down and probably find some little more upgrades. But obviously, we've also got the ADIO. Yeah. So that's going to bring more teams into it. So I think this last season is probably going to be one of the best halves of the season in like the past sort of 5 or 6 years, I think, because you don't actually know when it's going to happen.
Yeah. Who's your fourth team then? We've got Merc, Ferrari, McLaren, I'm assuming, and
I think Red Bull are going to come out with something, because I was terrified on quali about Red Bull's pace. I mean, you had every single driver, fair play, was sort of skirting round. The tyres weren't there. And then you had Verstappen's spin. It's quite uncharacteristic. I really thought that they were going to struggle more. And then Verstappen just controlled that race from his side. I mean, that pass on Hamilton on, was it like lap 16, was amazing. Yeah. And he just kept it as well. So I think Red Bull are really going to be ones to watch going forward. I mean, Hadjar is literally the perfect number 2 driver. He's not always there at the top. He's not maybe getting the best points, but he's getting consistent points. And I think he's going to bring Verstappen up to cause a little bit of chaos on that number 3 place in the championship for the actual constructors. I think Mercedes and Ferrari are going to battle it. That's 1 and 2. The rest of it is yet to be decided, I think.
Yeah, I started calling Hadjar Gorilla. Because he just sticks everybody. Well, he either sticks to Verstappen and pulls him along, or he glues like 3 or 4 cars together in front of him so Verstappen can make a move. He is just the perfect wingman. Do you know what? He's Sergio Perez. He's another Perez. When Perez was in that team, that's exactly what he did.
Yeah.
He's consistent.
Did you see him when he let Verstappen past? It was like he blocks everyone. Verstappen passed and blocks Hamilton. It was like, you're good.
Yeah, he is. He's doing such a good job. It's again another impressive drive from Hadjar. I think Verstappen basically outperformed the car. He did mention something about the suspension. I'm not sure that was a real thing, to be honest. I think that was just mind games. But honestly, at the moment, I've said this multiple times before, and I said this about McLaren, and look where that got me. But I'm not sure the pace is there in that Red Bull just yet. They do have 4 weeks off. Well, they've got 4 weeks off, but they've got 2 weeks in which to do something about it.
Yeah.
So you never know. They might. I mean, they might do. The pace that these cars are evolving this year is phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. So we can't discount them at all. I might even just pick them for the win, just because next time round. But yeah, I think on the whole, I think he was just trying too hard. That's the only reason that Max has spun out. He's so fed up with not being at the top. I think he just overdrove. It wasn't an issue, was it, this time round?
No.
And that rear wing's a lot better.
He capitalised on it today anyway.
Yeah,
I mean, it's one of them things where you can mess up in qualifying, but you do really good in the race, and that's what counts. Or you can do a Russell, do really good in qualifying, and mess the start up. What do you want to do, Russell?
I mean, Russell, I can't. I've lost all hope in Russell now. He had a really good Australia, and then the rest of the season has been literally nowhere. I mean, he's blaming the car a little bit for going into anti-stall. That's on him. As a driver, that's in your prep. And we all know now that the prep of these cars is hugely important at the start of the race, because if you don't get it right, this is what happens. You go backwards. He lost 14 places. Did you see the onboard of his start?
I've not. I can imagine it's
comical. Oh, it was like both sides. It's like, am I in a computer game? It was nuts.
This is just the thing, like 21 cars can get it right. You're not going to get it right every time, obviously, but if 21 cars can, it's not the car, it's not the systems. You just messed it up, and it's just a simple mistake, but it is one of the biggest mistakes you can make in a race, apart from crashing into probably your teammate is the worst one.
Teammate, yeah. But it wasn't so much the fact that he went into anti-stall, because as you just said, things happen sometimes. It does happen. But as we've seen with Hamilton, Verstappen, Norris, and a smattering of others, most of the time you can get those places back and get yourself into the bottom end of the points, maybe like 6th, 7th, pretty quickly. Russell didn't do that. And that's what surprised me the most. It took him ages to carve his way up.
Yeah, I know that we've said it before. I was actually watching a TikTok, and it basically said, no one cares about Russell anymore, which I think is a hugely stupid statement to make personally. However, it has got a little bit of truth in it. People are always going to go for the underdog. And unfortunately, that's Kimi Antonelli. That's where all the focus is. And this is from a fan's perspective. So what do you think the garage is doing? I think, obviously, we've talked about maybe Toto's leaning into Antonelli, as we've talked about many, many times. But yeah, I think Russell is really struggling to find his motivation. I thought he was going to get it a few races ago, and it just hasn't happened.
It's just not materialised, does it?
I feel like a typical Ferrari fan, because it's like, all right, it'll be the next race. He'll do it the next race. I don't think he can do it this season now. I think that it's too little too late, personally.
Let's try and be a bit objective, and let's go, well, ignore the fact that we've got Russell and Antonelli in that team, and just go, right, as a Formula One team, what would you normally do? We're now halfway through the season, and you have one driver out of your two that is consistent, that's doing well, and that now leads the championship and has a very good chance of securing the title at the end of the year. So what would you do as a team boss in that situation? You'd back your first driver, wouldn't you? You would back your driver that's at the top of the table. Now, if that was Russell, yes, you'd back Russell. And no, I don't think anybody would really, we wouldn't be talking about that if that was the case. It's only the fact that Kimi's really young, second season, and the manner of which he's gone about it this first half of the season. That's why we're talking about it. I don't think necessarily it's a massive issue. I do still get the feeling that he's a bit of a golden boy, but generally speaking, I think that's what you do anyway. You know, if George was up there fighting with him, and we still had this sense of favoritism, that might be an issue, but George isn't performing. Yes, I know he's had the retirement and the unreliability and the issues with the software. He's not had the best run of it.
Yeah.
But bottom line, I don't think his performance is there either.
Well, on that sort of mind frame of sort of what driver do you prioritise, obviously the one with the most points, things like that, At what point do you think that sort of like papaya rules are going to enter the Ferrari garage? Now, I say this with a pinch of salt because they are both phenomenal race car drivers, obviously, with Hamilton and Leclerc. But do you think at some point Leclerc's going to need to help Hamilton to potentially fight for the championship towards the end? Because there are only 50 points in it. And I was actually seeing a video on someone that said that Leclerc should have slowed down to let Hamilton keep his position with his 5-second penalty. I thought that was a load of rubbish. Like, that's stupid. However, it does lead a good question of when do you actually start fighting for the championship for one driver and sacrifice the other? Because Leclerc is like 10 points ahead of Norris in the championship. That's going to say fairly consistent, I think, generally speaking. If not, Leclerc's going to increase that gap. But he's miles off Russell. And Hamilton, I reckon, has a chance to catch Antonelli. What are your takes on that?
I think that's a little unfair for Charles, to be honest. They're not that far apart, and we're only halfway through the season. We've got another very busy second half to go. At this point, it's too early to do anything about it. I think they've got other issues they need to get on top of first. You're going to be looking at, like, I don't know, it's all like towards the end of the season, really, assuming that the gaps sort of stay similar.
Yeah.
You would be looking towards the end of the season. I mean, they need to secure second at the absolute minimum. Unfortunately, Kimi's now extended his lead because of what happened in Hungary, so that hasn't helped. So he needs. You see, I mean, Ferrari are on the back foot. They don't have the power. Hungary was a perfect opportunity for them that they squandered. Whether it was the heat and the deg of the tyres that's basically done them dirty, I don't know. Actually, it was, wasn't it? Let's be honest. I don't know why I said that.
Ferrari strategy.
They missed. There was a Ferrari strategy call in there that was a bit off. And I was going to say, did he really need to pit? Did Hamilton actually need to pit on that VSC, or were they just covering the bases?
I don't understand, because I know I think his hard tyres were like, so is it either 13 or 17 laps old, one of the two. So not too bad. But I think you would struggle to go to the end of the race. And I think Hamilton, being the sort of driver he is, I think he was more comfortable losing that time. Obviously, you lose a bit less time in the VSC. But I think he was happy going on them softs and chasing down. In hindsight, that was actually a terrible mistake, because not only did you have to give the position back to Antonelli, he also got the 5-second time penalty.
Well, yeah, and that was on him.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it doesn't matter by what it is. Like, it was by 0.1 kilometers. Speeding is speeding. You have to do that, or the teams will take a mile. That's for safety of the mechanics. That's it. I'm not arguing that at all.
No.
It's just unfortunate.
Yeah, we could both have been accused of being Lewis Hamilton fanboys, and you obviously are a self-proclaimed fan, but
maybe.
And we have talked quite positively about Lewis in the past, but no, he made a cock up. There is absolutely no way he should have been speeding. He should still have been on the pit lane limiter at that point until he crossed that white line.
Yeah, not on the line. I mean, you're talking fractions of a second, which is what you're fighting for, but then you got 5 seconds. But then teams just chance it all the time, don't they? That's literally where they get their tense.
Yeah, and I suppose if you're coming out of the pit lane, it's not as serious as coming into the pit lane, I suppose, because you've already passed that point. But even so, you've got to have an end point, and he broke the rule. End of, slam dunk. And it was a stupid way to lose 5 seconds.
Yeah, massively.
And what was really annoying, I mean, you mentioned it earlier about manipulating the points. Charles could have backed off just a fraction, a tenth maybe. What was it? 4.7, I think. So 3/10
to it.
So he could have backed off. On the very last lap, he could have backed off and done a 3/10 slower, giving Lewis, well, let's say 4/10, giving Lewis the chance to maintain that position for his championship. As I've said before, it's too early to start those sorts of games, which is so I agree with them on that. I'm agreeing with the fact that they didn't do that. But it was a missed opportunity. It was massively missed. They should have maximised that and come away with a 1-2, really.
Yeah, I think that, I think 1-2 would probably a little bit of a tall order, but I mean, one of them could have definitely been on the podium comfortably. but I don't think Leclerc really had it on the race pace. And I think Hamilton botched it by was it the yellow flag infringement that he had? And that's why
was that as well, yeah.
Yeah, so that's why he dropped, I think it was 5 grid places, actually. It's quite a steep
it was.
thing. But that's racing. On to the next one, basically, so to speak. I mean, you can't dwell on it.
No, you can't. I mean, to be fair, that was a team thing because they told him at the very last second and he didn't have time to do anything about it. So that's a team call. They should have been on top of that beforehand. They weren't the only team to make that mistake, though, but he was back up in the fight. I think with a different setup, as in if they had a setup that wasn't quite as hard on the tyres, and that's a suspension setup, I'm hoping, and not just an aero thing, because if it's aero, it's kind of baked in and there's nothing you can do about that. But if that was a setup issue, they could have got on top of that over the weekend to give him the chance to actually fight for the win.
Yeah.
Which is where he should have done. They didn't do that. That's why I'm saying it was a missed opportunity, because everybody thought, including us, that they were in the fight. We did think Antonelli and Russell were going to be there too, but that's a different story. We've kind of glossed over it, so I think we should probably go back to the blue flag chaos.
Yes.
There were numerous reports of blue flags being shown for people that they really shouldn't have done. Apparently, Norris got shown a blue flag whilst he was in the lead.
Yes, I did notice
Absolute chaos. What the hell?
Just imagine if you do pull over as well.
I know. Yeah, I mean, it's confusing enough as it is as you're going around at that sort of speed, but that's insane. But we had a few issues with back markers this time around. It was nuts, really. It's kind of like we didn't have blue flags. The most obvious one, I think, was Carlos. Carlos, I wouldn't say is one of these. So, yes, he was in the fight for positions. It wasn't a massive position, but he was doing his best. I'm assuming he wasn't aware that Oscar was behind him.
No, I don't think you'd do that intentionally. And also, I think this is where the blue flags is a bit strange in a way. So obviously, if you're a back marker, get out of the way as soon as you can. But if you're battling sort of like P16, P15, it's no points in it, but you're still racing. This is what you do as a job. And when you're battling and you're so focused on that car in front, sometimes you might miss on a couple of corners, which I think maybe is what Carlos has done. It's just not realised, because he was chasing, I can't remember who it's down actually, but he's chasing the car down. I think he just sort of didn't see him. Otherwise, you're not going to drive into someone because that might sacrifice your own race. And I know that everyone's going online going, oh, Oscar and Carlos don't get on. Yes, they do. They just had a bit of a tiff. Like, it's racing. That is literally what Carlos Sainz said at the end. Don't want to talk about it. It's racing. Job done.
Yeah, I mean, they're supposed to be friends as much as drivers can be friends. But there was a bit of a tiff going on post-race between them. Like you say, Carlos didn't really want to speak about it at all. Maybe he hadn't even seen it. Maybe at this point he's not even seen the footage, because I haven't seen that particular interview.
Just saying no comment.
Well, that's probably why I've not bothered watching it, to be fair, because there's not much to see. But again, from the other side, Oscar's had some choice words to say as well about the whole incident. But I just don't think moving across a car in that manner is in the Carlos Sainz playbook. I don't think that's him. So the only thing I can assume is he didn't know he was there in the first place. I don't even think it was a case of he didn't see him. Although, to be fair, you probably should have looked in his mirror. But being a racing driver, at the point at which he hit him, his eyes aren't going to be in his mirror. They're not even going to be on the apex, because that's where he was heading to. His eyes would have been down the road.
Yeah, on the next two corners ahead, because you're going round at like 100 miles an hour or whatever it is.
Yeah, exactly. Because you don't look at the corner that you're on. You look at the next bit that you can see as far down as you can see to give yourself as much time to process as you can. So certainly don't think that was intentional. It was a bit of a farce. And I think, it could have been done better. And for whatever reason that's caused this blue flag chaos, I don't know. There were some manual ones as well. Yeah, there were actual flags that were being shown when they really shouldn't have been, and they were in and they were out and they were in and they were out. It's a very weird situation.
Well, I know that Toto was very, very harsh on the stewards of the marshals say that it's so disorganized, he's not really seen anything like it ever, basically. But again, I think this is going back to what you always say, Drew. You need a standard set of stewards with a standard rule book, with a standard people that run the marshal team. Obviously, marshal team, that's country to country, that's fine. You're never going to get a load of marshals. I mean, the sport's quite expensive enough as it is. I don't think you need marshals just stand around with the flag and get paid 50 grand a year for it. If there is, sign me up, please.
Me too.
But it but it does go down to the fact there's no consistency at the end of the day. And that's where it comes from. Each track has their own situations and their own way of dealing with it, and the F1 race is the only consistency in that. So, but that's never going to change. So, not in our time.
I don't know. I mean, it's not beyond the realms of reason, really. You would only need, what is it? I can't remember how many stewards there are now. Is it 3, 4? Or is it as many as 6? However, even if it was as many as 6, full-time stewards with a standardized rule book, with standardized penalty examples, much like speeding in the pit lane is a 5-second penalty, slam dunk. Those things that you know can happen can be easily matched with a penalty. So it's the same penalty for the same thing at every single race. If something new happens, because let's face it, it's racing, these things happen, you must have something in that rule book by now that's similar so you can gauge what sort of penalty you can give. You know, what is the point in having a rule book that's applied differently at different races? That's not consistency. And that's what all racers want. If they know what, you know, the environment that they're racing in, if they cross that line, then that's a choice that they've made and they'll just put their hands up and go, yeah, all right, fair enough. But if, you know, one driver's getting penalised and another isn't, that's where this inconsistency comes from. That's why they don't like it.
We always go on a bit of a tangent, but going in a different direction, why don't we be like Perez's steering arm just gone? What is happening with Cadillac? They are, or they were, the team sort of like doing all right. But actually, I think they're doing quite poor. And I know that I've said, obviously, Aston Martin, they are like Cadillac and Aston are basically trying to compete against each other. Aston's now got, how many upgrades have got? Like 16 or something?
16 upgrades.
Yeah.
16 upgrades.
That's really shown really good form. We'll get on to them in just a minute, but Cadillac's reliability is one of the most shocking I've seen in the past 10 years. Would you agree?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, the Cadillac, they are a brand new team, and I've said this before, but by now, I would expect to have seen some improvements. And even if they're not bringing performance upgrades, they need to be nailing down the very basic reliability issues. I mean, I'm saying this fully aware of Merc having exactly the same problem at the moment in terms of reliability, but you need to be getting on top of it quicker than this, guys. I don't know if it's operational or just a lack of knowledge. Perhaps this entire year is just going to be a learning year and they'll come back bigger, better and stronger next year. Who knows? But for now, it's not good enough. We had Perez, like you say, with his suspension failure, which was a clean failure, potentially curb related, maybe. But then we had another fire. Bottas his front
brakes again.
Yeah, with his front left brakes. We had another fire. He didn't even get back to the pits. In fact, he had terminal brake failure because he had to use the pit wall to slow him down.
Yeah, he just got like sort of caught between the rail again. That's when he finally stopped, wasn't it? But it's not the first time they've had a brake failure, and it's not the first time. Was it? I think it was Perez again, where his arms, his like wishbone just popped off.
Yeah,
it's strange to have the same failures again and again. I don't know if it's maybe quality testing or, as you say, maybe the design, the way that they wrap the carbon, and maybe it's just not structurally sound. But still,
they might need to change the wave or something. Or is it driving style? Is it just Perez is really heavy on the curbs and Bottas just has a lead right foot? I don't know.
I think that's a bit of a far-fetch, I'll be honest.
Yeah, to be fair, yeah. But I'm making the point of, is it driver related?
No.
That's my point.
Well, speaking of far-fetched though, Lance Stroll, our GOAT, our best racing driver ever, has finished above Alonso. Like, what are the sort of the future going forward into this next half season, what do you think Aston Martin are going to do? Are they going to keep this form and maybe even get into the points, potentially 1 or 2 races? Or is it going to slump back down? Well, so I know you've got some information on our Mr. Man, Adrian Newey, as well, haven't you?
Yeah, well, I wouldn't say information at this point. It's as much as anybody knows. But for me, their 16 upgrades has made a hell of a difference. You know, they were over a minute behind the leaders last race out, and they were getting lapped 3 times. This time they've jumped from a very back of the grid a minute down to, was it 9th and 10th? No, it wasn't 9th and 10th. What was it?
13th, 14th.
13th, 14th, yeah. 13th and 14th, which in time is massive. It's absolutely huge. And granted, when you're that far behind, it's quite easy to make up time. It's the last tenths that are the hardest. But even so, that's a massive step forward. Huge step forward. Now, Adrian Newey has been, or has said that they didn't see the point in bringing little upgrades this year because it would have made absolutely no difference. They've wanted to basically get to the crux of the problem and then do something about it. Now we've seen a huge raft of upgrades and they have made a massive difference. There are more to come in Zandvoort and possibly a little bit later as well. But they're definitely going in the right direction and it has made a difference, which is what Alonso wanted. Is it enough to keep him in the team next year? We've got half a season to find out. What we haven't spoken about in a long time, we have mentioned in a very early show how much of a strange decision it was putting Adrian Newey as the team principal and lead technical as well. It's 2 very big jobs to do for one person. And I thought he'd already stepped to one side to concentrate on the technical until this race. And he got interviewed at the end of the race. I'm thinking, hang on a minute, why are they interviewing Adrian? I thought that had changed now. It hasn't yet. Obviously, the best guess is Jonathan Wheatley is going to replace him as team principal so that he can concentrate on being the lead technical director, which is what he needs to be in order to get the car back up to where it wants to be. Now, interestingly, during that interview, he compared the current Aston Martin team to when he started at Red Bull. And we all know how that story ended. He's talking about it's going to take time to change the culture. It's going to take time to set up the operational side of it to X, Y, and Z and all the rest of the things that we usually talk about. Very similar story to James Vowles and Williams.
I was just thinking that.
But is he going to do, are Aston going to do it quicker? Because let's face it, they've got the money, Williams don't. So I think we need to, I purposely didn't mention them on the last show because I got sick of beating them whilst they were down, to be fair. I thought enough was enough. But given what we've heard now, we've got the summer break. It's going to be an ideal time for Jonathan to step in if indeed it is him.
Well, I wonder how much they've changed already because I know that Adrian Newey was on about the culture there already when he started and he said it was an absolute joke and he was basically saying it wasn't managed at all. And that's what he spent a lot of his time doing originally. And I wonder if they've been working together, like him and Mr. Wheatley, on trying to change the culture and then have him sort of take over after the summer break potentially. But I suppose it get the tinfoil hat on. We don't know until we know, do we?
No, there's been it's not gardening leave as such, but there's been a period where he's left Audi and he's having to wait until he can join the Aston team. I think, the best case scenario is that he takes over during the summer break and the team move on and move forwards. Do you reckon it's going to be enough to keep Alonso in the team?
I think that Alonso's probably made his mind up about 3 months ago saying he might stick out this year. I know he said he's going to tell us after the summer break, but I think he's going to stay next year anyway. What I don't know is if it's with Aston. I reckon that he's either already decided he's going to switch teams or stay for next year and just see how it goes. But I don't think he'll be leaving.
Question is, where does he go? I mean, I'd love to see him in McLaren if Oscar leaves.
That was literally what I was going to say.
Yeah. Oh, was it?
Yeah.
I'd love to see it. Not going to lie. I think that would be an amazing story, especially, if McLaren continue their trajectory as well. That would make it potentially winning car. Well, no, it is. Yeah, it's winning car now, isn't it? So,
yeah. Technically 2 wins because Lando won the sprint, but that doesn't really count.
Nah, I suppose not. But yeah, I mean, we've got Hamilton in the Ferrari, Alonso in the McLaren, Verstappen in a potentially resurgent Red Bull, maybe? I don't know. That would make for a very interesting fight. And then we would really help.
Do you ever feel like you've been watching F1 too long when you say Hamilton the Ferrari, Alonso and McLaren, you think, I remember that, but it wasn't that way around about 20 years ago.
Yeah. To the way around, yeah. Yeah.
Oh, that would have been 2012, that, yeah, when he nearly won it. Anyway,
yeah.
Next point. I can see a tangent coming, like, stop it there.
I know, there was a tangent coming there. I could feel the thought bubble forming. Yeah, so I'm actually positive, a little bit positive about Aston. If we had like a positive meter, I think we are swinging back towards positive with Aston. So
last week it was in the negatives massively.
It was. I'm going to say well done. I think you're going in the right direction. Let's see where that journey takes us. Williams again are nowhere. I don't really know what the hell's happening there. But another team that I've been wondering about, they've kind of been flying under the radar quite a lot. Haas. Where the hell has Haas's performance disappeared to? They were like almost top of the midfield not that long ago, and they're just nowhere now.
It's just typical Haas. I mean, I think they got quite a good car at the start of this season. Obviously, everyone's on the most level playing field you can with the new regulations. But what Gene Haas has always done, he keeps buying too many parts. He keeps buying the Ferrari engine. He doesn't put enough money into the team, and he wonders why he doesn't get results. Like, you're literally building a second-hand car out of parts. You need to design your own stuff. You need to do that little bit extra. I actually wonder why Haas is still in Formula One, and that's on the basis that he's got all this stuff with NASCAR over in America. He doesn't put enough effort into F1, I don't think. So why keep it there? It just...
The prestige of just being there. It's like Ferraris until, last year, I suppose.
Yeah, fair enough.
Just the prestige of being in Formula One is enough.
But he needs to do more, because I remember the days of Grosjean, and they could do so well. They could do so much better, but they are a constant backmarker. I mean, we've got Williams that will eventually, at some point in the next century, get to them wins, but I can never see Haas winning. Never.
No, I can't either.
Unless we have a 21 car crash, in which case, they'll win.
Well, yeah. I'd like to see them do better. I guess they need somebody in to really cement in a decent structure and take them off that bottom rung.
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, they're still in the fight with Audi, but it's not going to be very long before Audi go off into the distance. They're already finding their feet. Again, another great result from Audi, I thought, overall. And they are just going to build on that. And maybe 3 years down the line, we're going to be looking at them as serious contenders.
Definitely. But I also think that with just going back to Haas, Ollie Berman, I think, needs to leave to somewhere, probably in the next 2 or 3 years. Ocon needs to leave.
Just leave. Just leave. Didn't Ocon do better than Berman last time around, though? I'm sure he did.
He did, yeah. But I think Berman's been a stronger driver in the sense that he can maximise the points when it's needed. And obviously, having a Haas car, you're not going to be in the top 15 all the time, I'll be honest. No. But Ocon, I think he's had so much time in F1. You expect him to be a little bit better. And I think this is when you sort of reach the hard truth of how good are you actually against these top drivers in the world. You need to make room for the new blood, I think.
Maybe he's just reached his personal plateau.
Yeah, which isn't a bad thing. I mean, look at like Gasly and, Stroll. There always comes a time when you just need to bow out. But I think when you're driving for Haas and it's been, I don't even know how long Ocon's been in the season.
A while now.
6 or 7 seasons now. He's just doing it for the money now. I don't think he's got any real enjoyment in it.
Same with Danny Rick, wasn't it?
Yeah.
He reached a plateau. I still think he could have done better if he'd have stuck it out with Red Bull, but ultimately he got as far as he could and then left.
And he's still Red Bull now, actually.
Well, yeah.
And all the different parts they do behind the scenes.
Yeah. He's an ambassador, isn't he, or something?
Yeah, that's it.
I mean, speaking of Red Bull, Red Bull are on an upward trajectory, but I'm finding myself back in the situation where I'm looking at that sister team. Racing Bulls are right behind Red Bull in the championship at the moment, and currently they're holding the highest championship place that they ever have to press. Currently 5th in the championship, previously 6th. And if they maintain that to the end of the year, that will be their best result so far. And you can see why in the racing. Both drivers at it, yes, fighting again with each other, but they're having fun. Nothing too outrageous. They're having fun. They're being fair. And the two guys are actually friends anyway. There's a bit of a bro love going on there, I think. But they're racing well in a car that's doing well. I'm very excited by Racing Bulls. And if they do get sold because of a change in rule set, whereby a team can't have a sister team, whoever gets that team better bloody make sure that continues, because if that goes south because of an ownership change, that would be it would be criminal.
As much as everyone hates these regulations, including myself, it has almost done that, or it's starting to do that. Like, we've not had this sort of stuff since probably like early 2010s, where you've got different people on the podium, you've got constant teams battling, you've got a few retirements. It's actually a very interesting season. I just think in 10 years we'll look back at it and go, that was quite a good season. It's just because everyone hates the super clipping and the 50-50, which I agree with as well. I think that's what's putting such a bad light on it, and that's what's taken a lot of the media attention out of it, and that's what a lot of people stop watching it.
Yeah, certainly at the beginning. I mean, it is still there. The technology is still there, working in the very same way, but with much less of an effect. You can see it happening, the way that people just blast past.
Yeah.
And then normally the driver behind will get it and they can come back on there. Didn't happen with Lewis, bizarrely. It must just be a nature of the Hungaroring. But
I think that's the Ferrari as well. I just don't think they can harvest as much batch. I think they use it too quickly and then they're just caught out. And then they just can't defend, and it's just, game over, basically.
Yeah, I mean, I must admit, I thought Verstappen caught him napping, to be honest. But, the technology is still happening, but because of the changes, it's minimized, and we are getting really close racing. And we're getting unpredictability in the results, which is good. It's positive, and I'm here for that. We're not getting there in the way I would prefer, but I mean, that is coming. I am old school. I'm not going to apologize for that. But at the end of the day, they've been reactive. So fair play to the FIA for that. They get a lot of stick to the FIA, but they came out with a set of regs. A lot of people hated it. They were reactive. They've changed it, and it has improved it. So well played, FIA. I know people don't say that very often, but well played.
I don't think that's ever been said. This is a first.
Well, potentially. No, I mean, credit where credit's due. Brand new set of regs. It was brave to try it. It hasn't worked, and we're going backwards. And you know what? All right, fair enough. You've tried it. But you've had this experiment done before. You've tried it in rallying. It didn't work. It was too fragile and too expensive. So you binned it. You've tried it in rallycross. It killed the sport. quite almost literally. So you've binned it and you've gone back to supercars. You've tried it in touring cars, and again, too heavy, binned it. So, I mean, there's a pattern forming here, is what I'm getting at, you know? You should really have figured this out by now. But obviously, F1's got huge prestige. A lot of
but it might work in
manufacturers. Well, I mean, it kind of does. I mean,
they are making a lot of changes in 2027 as well. They're increasing the battery size. They're shortening the plank, so the cars will handle better.
They're not increasing battery size. Surely they're making the battery size smaller. I thought that was a reduction to 50 because a smaller battery will recharge faster to avoid that. To avoid the super clipping. My understanding was that it was actually getting reduced to 50, so it recharges faster and increasing so effectively you're reducing the electrical component of it, but then increasing the fuel flow rate to get more power on the ice, which is moving that shift towards the internal combustion engine. That was my understanding of it.
Going to fact check it now.
Are you fact checking it right now?
I'm not pity.
So, yeah, okay. Let's wait for this because this is good. Who's right?
So, we are both right.
I knew that.
Reason being, I'm really, really petty. So, the internal combustion engine is being increased from 400 to 420. That's what I was thinking of. I'm an idiot. I watched it late at night. Might have been drinking. But yeah, you are right. So the MG UK, the electrical power, that's being decreased to 300 from 350. So yes, you are correct.
Yeah.
And then they're increasing the harvesting to 375.
Yeah.
So yeah, you're right, but I just don't want to say it.
Yeah. I'm a bit of a geek on the technical stuff, although the F1 stuff is just confusing quite a lot of the times. I won't lie.
Especially this season.
Oh, yeah. It's so tough. It'll be interesting, yeah. And then obviously we've got the 2030 change of regs as well, which I think they're going for a 10-year cycle on, which will be interesting. So
that's quite a while, isn't it?
Is it?
I suppose the hybrid era. Yeah, no.
I think, yeah.
I think I'm just too scared that if it goes wrong, that's like another 10 years I've then got to trying to enjoy this sport.
How badly can it go with a V10 on sustainable fuel?
It depends what they do with the electrical part. If you just stick a V10 in, fine.
Well, I don't know.
Okay.
I mean, for me personally, and I've said this on numerous occasions, I don't mind them sticking a hybrid unit on, so long as it's a full-time hybrid unit. So let's have a V10 on actual, proper, sustainable fuel, which can then trickle down to us at the pumps. And then I don't like these crazy push to pass buttons. Just to get rid of it. It's just gimmicky. Just give them the power. I don't actually even think you need DRS zones or anything like that. It's provided entertainment, but if they've got it all of the time, if they've got it all of the time, they're going to find different places to use it to pass. So you're not going to be looking at the same corners on the same tracks every single race for the passes. You're going to get drivers going, right, I'm just going to outbrake it, dive down the inside and chuck it round. I think that the cars need to be shorter, a lot shorter, and a lot lighter.
And more narrow.
Yeah. Just shrink the damn things back down again. They are too big. When you see the comparisons between like 2012 and now, it's like seeing a Matchbox car against a giant. It's ridiculous. They don't need to be that big. Shrink them down, and maybe we might get some racing at Monaco. Or maybe not. But we might get some racing at the Hungaroring next time out.
There you go. Yeah. Let's have a realistic thing. No more wishful thinking.
Yeah. Hey, if you can do it, I can.
Doesn't work for me. We've seen.
No, it doesn't work for me either. So we'll do a bit on last predictions, but we're not going to do predictions yet. We're going to do a bit of a review show coming up on the first half of the season, and that's when we'll do our predictions next time around, because there's so much that's probably going to happen over the next 4 weeks.
Yeah. And we need 4 weeks to try and get a little bit right with our predictions rather than binning it in the corner.
Yeah, they didn't help, did it? So I picked Hamilton. No, I didn't. I'm lying. So I picked Antonelli to win the race, and well, Merck went nowhere. I think Antonelli did all right, but again, nowhere. And I picked Hamilton and Leclerc second and third, which, to be honest, at one point I think we were on.
Yeah, I actually thought you were going to do quite well with it, to be fair. As soon as you did your predictions, I thought that's actually quite reasonable. But then the race happened.
Yeah, again. And obviously neither of us saw bloody McLaren coming into the fray. Just remind us, who did you pick?
So I picked Russell to start, Russell first. Because I said, I'm going to keep choosing him until he wins. I don't know if I'm going to stick with that or not.
Yeah, I don't think that's a winning formula, mate.
Then I put Hamilton second. I thought Leclerc was actually more likely to get it, but, I'm a Hamilton fanboy. It was possible, but it didn't really happen, did it? I mean, I think the grid place position penalty really got to him. And I believe my last one was Verstappen, I believe.
Who was in second? So you actually did
Hamilton. And then Verstappen in third, I picked.
Oh, Verstappen. So you got a point for Verstappen then? Did you?
Technically, yeah. It depends we need to go through point scoring. I can't wait for the next podcast.
Coming up in the show after summer break, we're going to actually do this properly. And we're going to actually have a really good go at it too. So rather than just picking our top three, which we have been pretty rubbish at, we're actually going to make a bit of a game about it. And we want you guys to join in with us too. There are 4 categories to choose from. So you need to pick pole sitter for the race. You need to pick top 3 finishing for the race, along with fastest driver or fastest lap time driver and their fastest lap time as well. There are rules. So it's 1 point each, apart from the top 3 drivers, in which case it's 3, 2, 1. And you only get points if they're in the top 3 and in the places that you put them in. It's a bit of a fantasy F1 thing, I guess. But we do invite you guys to join in. Pop them in the comments, and if anybody's right, we can call it out and talk about it. That's post summer break though, so we do need to do a bit of work, making some fancy graphics.
A lot of work.
Yeah. I think it'd be good though. I mean, we're going to keep actual track of it. I've no idea where we are so far. I don't think either of us have got a huge amount of points, have we?
No, but I'm going to be going and making an Excel spreadsheet.
Nice.
And it's going to have previous ones. I think for the last bit, I'm going to just give a point if you got it right in the right spot. And if not, you lose out. So I think I'm probably on 1, you're probably on 2. And that's it.
I thought it was along 3 or 4, to be fair, but I can't remember. Maybe we just sack the first half off, because we've both been absolutely terrible. Let's just start for a summer break and go forwards. I think that's the fairest thing, because we haven't been scoring it properly anyway. So yeah, if you fancy joining in with us, drop it in the comments and you can play along too. In the meantime, I think that's pretty much it. I don't think there's anything else, do you think?
I'm upset that there's no F1 now.
Yeah. Well, that's okay, because there's other things going off as well, because British touring cars.
Motorsport Files.
Absolutely.
Okay.
On point there. On point, Zach. On point. Cheesy, but on point. The touring cars are back last weekend. They started back up again at Thruxton, which we'll be covering hopefully soon. And there's all sorts of stuff. I really do encourage you to check out Rallycross, because it needs your support. I've mentioned it in the show already, and they have had one hell of a hard time with the electric series that didn't work. But if you like racing that's nuts, like absolutely insane, go check it out. It's on YouTube, completely free. Just search out FIA Rallycross or Euro Rallycross and you'll find it. It's mental, and I guarantee you'll have fun. In the meantime, that's it for us on this show. Please do check out our social channels at TMF Pod 23, and we're on most of them: Facebook, X, Instagram, TikTok, etc. And you can also have a look at the additional info on the website that also accompanies these episodes. That's www.themotorsportfiles.com, and you can subscribe to our newsletter there as well, which please do, because that all helps the growth of the channels as well. Right, Zach, thank you very much for your time. See you again soon. Nice one. See you, mate. See you. Bye. Bye.